so many brothers, so many male comics give so much flack about why they don't date black women and how black women be giving them a hard time. But I'm telling you right now, a sister would have never took him down like that. We stand behind our men. We do.
I don't even got to say nothing in response to that.
News is, word on the street is that John DeMajors was found guilty of 2 of the 4 charges. I don't know. I guess that makes you happy.
Doesn't make me happy.
Anyway, the white woman won. So
doesn't make me happy. I don't think that it was right from the get-go that you just automatically assumed that he was innocent.
I didn't assume he was innocent.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't assume
you
he was
defended him from day one.
Yeah, but I did defend him, but I didn't say he was innocent. I can defend somebody and not think that they're innocent.
You defended him because he was black and he had a white girlfriend that called the cops on him.
Yeah, but lawyers do that all the time. I got to stick to my side.
This is why our country is the way it is.
It is not.
Yeah, it is.
But I didn't get mad at it. It just doesn't matter. So the thing is that you can root for a team and you can root for a side. The only difference is as long as you don't get mad if your side loses. So it don't matter that you root
abuse.
for.
This isn't a football game.
This ain't. But okay, was it real abuse?
Probably not.
Okay, see, but
I mean, there, like I said from the beginning, there's something there. Maybe she put her hands on him first. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying that I don't think that he has. I think he might lose control once in a while.
But the thing
it just
is,
seems like he might.
It almost seems like that, it got taken a little out of hand just for the simple fact of him being black. Now, I'm not going to say him being black, but him just being a big movie star. Because I would say, the same thing happened to, what's his name, Johnny Depp. Sometimes, I know women say that they feel unsafe, but it doesn't feel like it's safe as a man sometimes when you have allegations hanging over your head from a female. Because allegations automatically are assumed to be completely the worst case scenario, and basically your life can be thrown into a tailspin just because of an allegation. Did this need to rise to the point of where it is right now? I don't think it should have.
No, I don't think it should have either.
There was a tape that was released of him comparing himself to Martin Luther King and trying to say she needed to be more like Coretta Scott.
Coretta Scott King. You know who that is? That's Martin Luther King's wife. Michelle Obama. Barack Obama's wife. I am doing great things, not just for me, but for my culture and for the world. The woman that supports me, that I support, that needs to be a great woman and make sacrifices. And the plan is everything.
Ultimately, I understand where he was coming from. He needs someone that is going to be by his side and someone that's going to back him up. Mm-hmm. The problem that I did have, and the problem that I did see with that, is that it's kind of hard to relate that to someone that is not of your background, of your race. I think it is.
Yes and no. I think. I mean, who am I to say? I don't know. Well, but I think it has to do more with character rather than color. If you have somebody that just supports you and is, like-minded and has the same values and wants the same, in life, then I just think it's easier for that person to be able to kind of support you. But if you have somebody, I mean, she just seemed like, and I don't know much about her, but it seemed like she did like to go out and party and drink, and maybe he was trying to change her into being what he wanted, or maybe he liked that side of her when he wanted to go out and do things. But
I really think they're on different paths. I hear what you're saying, but the reason why I think they're on different paths, I think he was on a work path that he was trying to get somewhere. I think that she was basically along for the ride with what he was trying to do. With the Coretta Scott and Martin Luther, it seemed like he felt like he was on a journey for his people, for black people, that he was trying to do something for black people. And that's why I think sometimes is that it's hard culturally for people to understand sometimes if you're not from black culture, like what that means. And I say that for this because with me and you are with me, but we have had some discussions sometimes where you don't understand where I'm coming from, because I will think a certain way just because I grew up black, and it may not be the correct way I think, and then you question it, and then I'm like, why don't you understand? But because you grew up different, and sometimes it's hard for me to understand why you don't understand and see things your way. But I think in stepping back from some of the things that I have grown up and some of the ways that I have grown up, and also looking at some of the ways you've grown up, has let me understand a fuller picture of not everyone thinks the way that I think that they are thinking just because of the color of my skin. That is a journey that couples have to go on, especially if they're an interracial couple, for a lot of them. Because listen, unless you look where you grew up, there was nothing but white people. Where I grew up, there was a mixture of black people and white people, but how I grew up, there was nothing but black people. And so there was a certain mindset and certain things that were said because of our outlook on things, especially things that happen in the news. I mean, things like the OJ case and things like that. There were certain mindsets that were placed in my mind on how the world looks at me just because of the color of my skin that still to this day kind of follows me and follows some of the thinking and some of the things that happen. Like sometimes when things happen, like I'm be honest with you, in the back of my head, I'm like, is that because I'm black? And the thing is that I have evolved enough to the point where I'm like, sometimes it's just I wasn't good enough to get that. You see what I'm saying? But it's still that thing pops up in my head. And with this case, to be honest with you, it is one of those things that black people are on the side of. It's like if this was a white person or a white actor, with the dominoes have fallen the same way. And it's kind of hard to say. I understand that thinking. I'm not saying that it's correct, but I understand that thinking.
I think these actors and anybody really, the football players, baseball players, basketball players, I feel like when you're in the eyes of everybody and you're the job you're in, you're making a decent amount of money, your name is out there, you're somebody recognized, people recognize you. I think that you have to hold yourself accountable for stuff. I think you have to carry yourself a little bit different, and you have to make better decisions. I mean, basically that decision that he made to be with her cost him a lot.
So you saying she was the wrong woman?
Yes. And not because she was white.
Well, no, I was just...
It was a toxic relationship. And when you have so much to lose, I mean, you have to be a little bit aware of that, and kind of don't let it go on so long. I mean, you got nothing to lose, or you both have equal amounts to lose, and you want to just keep battling it out. I mean, have at it. But when you're in the public eye like that and you have a career that you can lose, I mean, you have to be smarter.
It does come down to you really have to know who you're dating and know who you're marrying and know who you're in a relationship with and who you're having around you. You can't be, especially if you have something to lose. I wouldn't even say even if you don't have something to lose. So I can't say that it's just a black and white thing. But what I can say is that men have to be more diligent about the women that they're keeping in their life. I would like to think that you're not crazy. Sometimes you have proven me to be right. I was
going to say, I think everybody has a little bit of crazy in them.
But, everybody does. And everybody has their moments and everybody has their things. I've had friends that like feisty women, and feisty women are okay when it's fun feisty. When it turns into not so fun feisty, that's when you have problems. At the end of the day, is it as black and white as I said it was at the beginning? Do you think he lost all his gigs just because he was a black man dating a white woman? Do you think that's why? Do you think it had maybe a little bit to do with something? And you could say no, but do you think it may have a little bit to do
I
with
think
something?
Probably like at the night of the call, it maybe did.
When the police showed up?
Yeah.
You think it had something to do with it?
I think so. I think it
Possibly.
Also had a lot to do with a domestic violence call and a man and a female. I think that
a large man
it's
and a
sad, but
small
I think
female.
I think it doesn't matter who calls the cops. It doesn't matter who has the cuts and bruises. The guy is always taken downtown, I feel like.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know a lot of people that happened to. Like, maybe
don't know.
5 stories. So put in those 5 stories.
The man was always.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. If you are going to date outside of your race or, interracially or something like that, there's other layers and things in that you have to think about. And the reason why is because you may have some things that you grew up with that, the person that you're dating that isn't from your, background or race may not understand, and trying to explain those things to them, and then also trying to overcome some of the quote unquote what some people call traumas that happen in your life, trying to overcome them. Is that person patient enough to let you try to work through those things? And listen, the person could be of your same race. Like, it can be two black people coming from 2 different social economic upbringings and have 2 different outlooks on life. And so I'm not saying that just because somebody might be of a different race, but I just seem to see that more of people that come from different races, that there is differences in backgrounds that have to be overcome and understanding that has to be overcome. One thing I will say, and I probably shouldn't say it, I think he's with a black woman now, which is probably better for his situation. But I don't think he's going to be trying to pick up no black woman and try to shove her in the car. I don't think that will I don't think that would have even crossed his mind. The thing about Marvel is that all the black characters that they had, there's no more black characters. And so he's gone. You remember Black Panther?
Yeah, I heard today, I think that there's going to be a female Black Panther.
Okay, I don't want to see that. And I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that Marvel, for the most part, has been a guy franchise. It has. It's been a guy franchise. I mean, how many women watch, Marvel movies? There are some, but it's a very small percentage of them.